Hello, welcome to my video on water and preparing for an emergency in Florida. This video focuses on the rule of threes, if you remember from my last video, of you can only last 3 days without water. And why is that important? Well, the Mayo Clinic says the average adult needs 11 to 15 cups of water daily. That's about 91 ounces. If you remember from my last video, FEMA said that you should keep 3 to 7 days per person of 1 gallon of water for drinking and food. Water's critical. Your body is made up of about 50 to 60% water. And if you dehydrate over 3 days, the outcome could be very disastrous. You could become confused, irritable, dizzy. You could become fatigued, get headaches, lose your ability to rationally think. You could go into shock. Ultimately, you could die. Water storage is therefore critical in your preparation because municipal and even your private wells require water and electricity to work. Without electricity, your pump in your well won't work, and the municipality won't be able to pump water in reservoirs to feed into their system. And if the electricity goes out, they probably will only have less than a day before the water goes dry, if even that. And power, in disasters is one of those things that can go out quickly. So clean water is critical. And it is very critical because if you don't have clean water, contaminated water causes very bad outcomes, severe diarrhea, gastrointestinal issues, and may ultimately kill you. So you must plan ahead. What do you need to do before and when a severe event is imminent? You must store water. I keep about 28 gallons of stored water in 1 gallon and pint bottles. You can get these at Costco, Walmart, your grocery store. Usually gallons bottles will go for about $1.50, sometimes $2. The other thing you can do is when a storm is imminent or a hurricane is imminent and there's real threat of a major hit, fill your bathtubs. Of course, after cleaning them. We use a water bob, which is a liner that goes into the bathtub, and it actually stores about 100 gallons. I also will fill up 5 gallon and 7 gallon water containers. I have about 5 of them, and that gives me additional clean water. You may have other type of containers around the home that you could fill up. Maybe you can clean out and keep a few empty 1 gallon milk containers. Clean them well, though. Another source that may be available is your water heater. If you have a traditional water heater, they usually store 50, 60, 70 gallons. And in an emergency, that could be a clean water source. But whatever you do, don't use your clean water to flush your toilets. And remember, many of us live on municipal sewer systems, and eventually when the power goes out, so will the pump. So toilets may not last long, but you do need secondary water sources. And, they can include things like streams, ponds, lakes, even the collection of rainwater. But you've got to plan on how you're going to transport this water. The other important point here is make sure that secondary water source is not chemically or petroleum contaminated, because most filtration cannot take these contaminants out. So once you have a secondary source that you can trust, you can use things like life straws, which are little straws that you suck on, pull water through, and it takes about 99% of the bacteria out. Other types of things you can use are Sawyer mini water filters. Some people use Berkeys. Now, when you do this, you're probably going to want to, especially in a Berkey or in other filters, you may want to use, for example, coffee filters to run the secondary water through before you actually put it in the filter so it doesn't clog them up. You could also boil your water on your outside grill or propane stove. If you do that, remember, bring the water up to a rolling boil for 1 minute before you use it. I also keep some purification tablets around, but that water tastes awful. But it's safe if you follow instructions. You can also add bleach to your water. Make sure it's plain Clorox or reasonable substitute. Usually about 4 drops to a quart will clean, but make sure you read the instructions and follow the directions that you find. Now, when I'm in my car on a road trip, I carry Coast Guard approved survival water packets. They're little 6-ounce sealed water packets that can stay good for about 5 years, and they're very easy to store. But I'll cover that in a future video about having a go bag. So your job is to start your planning now on how you will prepare your family to survive with safe, plentiful water. Test your preps. Rotate your water stocks. Hopefully you'll never need to use these emergency water reserves, but they will be ready if you do plan now. Thank you for watching, and remember, you can start your water preps today by buying a couple of gallons of distilled water a month, buying a secondary water filtration system. I've seen Life Straws at Walmart in their camping sections, along with other filters, along with collapsible 5-gallon water jugs that you could use to store water in, and they won't take up much space in your home. What I'm trying to do is help you be prepared, my friends. My next video will focus on the next rule of threes, which is food. So be prepared and be ready. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like. Thank you.